Donovan, I know you don't want to look back at last year, but what does it mean to have a game like that where you had to kind of grind through physically and mentally?
Yeah, I personally think you can see the progression, just out there. I think started with Evan, to start the game, but I think for us, that third quarter really could have went one or two ways, and I felt like for the guys that were here last year, just kind of being a part of that and flipping the script around the 5-minute mark or whatever, like it was going to get ugly, it's going to get that's how the series is going to be, but how do you respond? That's been my message all year. We're going to get beat up. We're going to turn the ball over. We're going to have bad possessions. We're not going to make shots. We're going to get out-rebounded in situations. We didn't get out-rebounded tonight, but stuff like that's going to happen. But how do you respond? You know what I mean? And that was a great response, how we did it tonight. But at the end of the day, you learn from it. You enjoy it, but it's one game. So this is something to build on, and we got to do it again in game 2.
You looked like you had a lot of your burst and your lift back. Did that week off help a lot?
Yeah, big time. Like I said, 1% better every day. Just continuing to get back to where I feel like I'm comfortable and I feel like I can be even better. I think there were spots where, I turn the ball over in situations or doing different things. Just continuing to play my game and just continuing to put the treatment in and put the work in.
Kendra.
Hey Donovan, you have quite a streak going of just really strong scoring performances in game ones of series for the past 5 or 6 series that you played in. What is it about the start of a series in particular that do you feel different heading into?
Yeah, it sets a tone. It started last night. I just told it to BJ first of all, I hate early games. So like kind of trying to get myself mentally ready to the point where I only got 2 hours sleep last night just because I was sitting there like hype. Like everything that happened tonight, just seeing the towels, seeing the whiteout, like it's just something you dream of as a kid. So I always tell people I never lose that, and kind of it brings out, but also setting the tone from a more professional standpoint, setting the tone. But yeah, it's exciting. This is I love this. This is something that's great. But in the same token, this game is over with. This is just trying to set that tone, and now I got to do it again and again, and definitely get to bed.
Jim.
Donovan, how much does it help you to have? George and Max weren't hitting today, but how much does it help you to have guys like that defenses have to respect no matter how they shoot?
And I think honestly a lot of it too is Max had 9 rebounds. You know what I mean? There was a possession we played Indiana, and I missed a 3. He grabs the rebound, and then DG comes back and hits a 3. Like those are the winning plays. That's what he's. Obviously, we all know Miami's culture. I know that's what he's obviously groomed from, and bringing that over here to us. And that started at the beginning of the year when he was the leader in the sprints. That's just the little things that he brings to us. And it's not always going to be, a 20-point in the fourth quarter night for Max, but he's always going to give us. He's a plus 13 tonight, even though he didn't shoot the ball well and had 5 turnovers. Like to still be plus 13 speaks a lot to him and his voice. And then George as well. George was also a plus 13. And then hit 1 3, just continuing to be a positive voice and an important voice while being out there.
You guys had the big run the third and fourth quarter right after you guys had the offense was kind of bogging down a little bit. What did you guys figure out during that stretch?
Getting back to what we do. They're going to, I think that's the biggest thing, getting back to our game plan, continue to push the pace, get our looks, getting into the paint, finding guys. And the biggest thing, too, is when you're not hitting shots, not getting discouraged. And they were making some, but we were able to, hold them under 90, which was, great defensively, but we weren't converting, so that's definitely tough when you're getting stops and you're not converting. But when you have the mental fortitude and you're battle tested, and you have guys that are battle tested, I think that's something that really helped us during that stretch, and we got the win tonight.
Joe?
What does your performance today say about where you are physically and emotionally?
This is who I am. That's kind of been my message all year. This is why I'm here, and this is one game. I could have had 10 tonight. As long as we got the dub, I'll do everything it takes to win. But for me, I know I'm capable of this. I've shown it. So now it's just continually doing it on a night-to-night basis. This isn't something that I did and it's this is who I am, and now just being consistent and doing that, and also being a leader throughout that as well.
And then you mentioned, the white towels and the T-shirts and all that. We all know you grew up as a Cavs fan and what was going on here at those times. And then last year, you get to the playoffs, and it was tough, and it, you know, in a way you didn't want. Is there a part of you that is sort of chasing a taste of that magic here that you saw when you were a kid?
I mean, yeah, it's something that when you honestly, it's really Ahmad screaming and yelling in the towels for me. Like that's really what, like, when he's every time out. Like, if the camera ever pans me, you probably see me like just looking, just because this is what it's about. This is why I work so hard. This is why we work so hard. This is what it is, you know. And this was game 1 of a playoff series, first game of the playoffs, and I expect it to be like that on Monday. You know, you can feel the noise and feel the energy. I'm driving around. I had to get something late last night, and there was these little kids, like, you know, screaming, like, all right, come on, like, you know, that's something that, you know, I really enjoy. And yeah, like, you know, seeing it and hearing it as a kid here, and now doing it here and watching, especially after last year, the Phil Collins, you know, song, when that comes on, the whole ground shakes, like, oh, that, like, I love that. You know what I mean? I'll never lose the kid inside me while being a pro in what I do. And I think that's just something that's really, it's just dope, to be honest with you, and continuing to enjoy that, because it's awesome.
Do you know, since you said I'm going to follow up, do you know about them playing that song before Game 6 in 2016, and LeBron and Kyrie with the air drums and all that?
No, I don't know about that, but I can understand. I can understand why they did that, because it's loud. I don't know who does it, but it's loud. It's loud, and like I said, it's fun, man. But on the same token, I still got to be able to stay here with it. But I'm never gonna lose the moment you have when you do these things.
Michael.
Oh, my bad. Never, Michael's not usually what I go by. Donovan, you guys talked all week about practicing for the more physical series, getting ready for this. How did the actual physicality of today's game compare to what you expected it to be?
I mean, we played them 4 times, and we knew, you know, and they're a group that can guard. You know, they got a bunch of guys that can be physical. So we knew that, and, you know, I think the biggest thing now, especially learning from last year, obviously, is just how do you handle it? You know, how do you continue to push through? And it's going to be like this all series. You know, it's not malicious. It's just playoff basketball. This is what it is, and I think we're mentally ready for it and equipped for it. So now it's just continually doing it on a night-to-night basis. But, you know, this doesn't come as a shock to us, and just continuing to follow our game plan throughout. When the team's physical, you still got to find ways to execute. We did it for a little bit, and then we found it. You know, so when we go back and watch the film, it's how do we continue to push through. You give them credit; they did a good job, but we also did a good job as well. Continue to fight through the physicality, and especially our bigs, man. Jay and Ed were phenomenal tonight, and we're going to need that consistently every night.
Speaking of Evan, he hit those 2 threes early.
Mm-hmm.
How much did him making those threes kind of change how you were attacking the pick and roll with the extra spacing? Because
Yeah,
he
I
was
was-
supposed to get in it more.
I was like, uh-oh. I was like, here comes a heat check or something, you know what I mean? But that's big for him, you know, and big for us as well. Just the confidence. Even the one he took in the third on the wing, like, you know, I didn't go in, but just the confidence to be able to take it, not shot faking, because sometimes that's the best shot we're going to get. So take it and be confident in it. And I think for a young player to continuously work at it, and I said the same thing about Isaac Okoro, to continuously work at it, and then to see it happen in a moment like that, especially to start the game, you know, that's huge. That does wonders for someone, not even just us, but more so for him. And it's just a testament to the work he's continually putting in now. I always say this, you did it game 1, you can do it again, and again, and again, and again.
Darryl.
How good does it feel to start this series off, basically checking the boxes? You win the rebound battle big, you maintain composure when Orlando's trying to turn up the physicality and mix things up, you overcome the slump from beyond the arc there that you guys had. Just how good does it feel to just kind of all those things that you bullet pointed going into the series to check those off in game 1?
Yeah, it does feel good, but this is, I said this about us making the playoffs. This is just who we are. Like, it's not always going to be pretty. I've sat up here a few times this year and said that, but we're going to find a way. So this is what's expected of us. You know what I mean? And still, too, is one game. You know, we did it for one game, so we're not going to sit here and pat ourselves on the back and, you know, get excited over it. You know, we did a lot of things well. We also did a lot of things we can work on. So it's just how do we continue to build and prep for Monday. So I think it's always great to get a win, especially when you shoot 26% from 3, and, you know, you have the turnovers that me, Max, and DG had. So how do we build upon that? You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. So it's definitely great, but at the end of the day, it's one game. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Come game 2, you got to do it again and again.
Your teammates noticed the dunk. How good did that feel?
Yeah, I forgot who was saying that. I think it was Chris was saying I don't dunk anymore. But no, it was good just to get the steal and to get up there and kind of just scream and let emotion out. But it's playoff basketball, and it's time.
Last two, Ethan. Donovan, you've talked about Darius Garland's growth this season and being able to see him in late game opportunities. How does those opportunities pay dividends, and what is the emotion and feeling of just seeing him contribute in those late game moments?
Big time. I think I said it after he hit the shot against Indiana. It's not always going to just be in my hands. We trust each other, and I trust him, and the team trusts him to make plays, and it's just going out there and being aggressive. The last shot he hit against on the right wing against Paolo, go be that. Go be great. I got mad at him for trying to pass it to Ed. Take the layup. You know what I mean? Continue to be aggressive. And, this season, obviously, for him has been, up and down, in and out of the lineup. So, for a young player to continue to maintain that, first of all, the positive attitude, continue to be the kid with a smile on his face, but then also coming into these situations where he started off making shots, didn't really make shots, had some turnovers, but still finished 14 and 8. Continuing to find ways to impact the game, that's huge, and we're going to need that for the rest of the series and the rest of the playoffs.
He's clearly had some problems with his back. He's been wearing a heating pad and stuff when he's on the bench. What is it like to see him continue to fight? And even he waved off Karras when he was at the scorer's table, trying to check in for him and seeing that from him.
Yeah, he's resilient. He's a kid, complicated, but he's a guy that is just wants to be out there, wants to fight. We love that. We appreciate that, and everybody's going through something, and for him to continue to push through and be himself, that's big for us, and it's going to be big for us if we want to win at the highest level.
Last one.
Donovan, a lot has been said about the toughness of this team, both mentally and physically. You come out here and you get a win in a game where, some of the box score stuff really didn't look all that great. What does that say about this team this year compared to last year, and how much better can this team play in game two?
I think we do a lot of things. Obviously, just looking at a statistical standpoint, we can say we can do a lot better, but also I think we can also play better. I think we can also do a lot better job of creating for others. I only had 3 assists today and 4 turnovers. DG was the high man in assists, being able to help each other out in that regard. Getting on the boards. I only had 3. DG had 2. We can help the bigs. Even though they dominated the boards tonight, we can still help them. But last year I think. You're always viewed on the playoffs last year and whatnot, but I think last year is over with. I think we've kind of flushed that. I think it's great to get this win the way we got it and how we won. But at the end of the day, like I said, this is who we are. This is who we expect to be. And throughout the stuff we did throughout the regular season, there was times where we didn't look great. It's times we look great. There's all these trials and tribulations. That's pretty much what the regular season's about. So as long as you stay here with it, stay here mentally and understand that, this is all prepping us, for this. And, I could sit here and be happy and say, yeah, we did it tonight, but, I won't have that answer to you until we get 4 wins and then another 4 and another 4. So, it's great. It's a feel good, but at the end of the day, it's only 1-0. We got 3 more times to do the same thing, and then we got to do it on the road, when there's no whiteout and towels and all that. So, that's my biggest thing. I think that's all of our mindsets.
And then last thing, does this game 1 victory mean another trip to Mitchell's Ice Cream?
Yeah, I go there a lot actually. They are down the street from my house, so I definitely am there a lot. But so shout out to them. I appreciate them. But I probably have to wait until after this series to then hopefully we get a break in between. But that's my spot. So I'll hold off until after we take care of business.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Wrap it.